afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, March 7th. I'm your host, Rob Lowry, and here's what's making news now. A Toronto Jewish community center received a bomb threat earlier today, prompting evacuations. Toronto police say that school inside 750 Spadina Avenue, which also contains the Miles Nadell Jewish Community Center, received a threatening phone call this morning. It began evacuating immediately. The corner of Bloor Street West and Spadina Avenue was already closed due to a planned protest. The intersection reopened around 12:20 p.m. with the community center open minutes after. Officers and firefighters searched the building and area, but said nothing was found. Check out skedline.com for more. A tractor trailer carrying about 58,000 liters of oil flipped over in Caledon last night. The accident occurred around 2:30 a.m. when the vehicle was moving up a hill near Highway 9 and Airport Road. The vehicle then jackknifed with one of the trailers being carried flipped. OPP Constable Stephanie Hammond told reporters at the scene that roughly 23,000 liters of oil spilt and that it was a significant spill. No injuries were reported at the incident and police continue to investigate. Canadian cabinet ministers are meeting today to discuss the rising numbers of asylum seekers entering Canada through the states. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his government will focus on the Safe Third Country Agreement, which prevents people from claiming asylum in Canada at border crossings. An Ontario school teacher has been charged with 42 offenses after allegedly sexually assaulting minors. The female teacher, who has worked at Hastings and Prince Edward District School Board, has been investigated for sex crimes involving young people fit between 12 and 15 in Tweed, Ontario since 2013. She is set to appear in Belleville Court today, where she is expected to enter a plea. Since her arrest, she has not been teaching. Outside the province, an RCMP officer has died after a fatal car accident. Around 6:20 p.m., the unidentified officer was en route 202 westbound in St. Bernard-de-la-Salle, Quebec, when he collided with a tractor. The accident took place near the Canada-U.S. border. CBC reports that the Provincial Police Major Crime Unit are investigating the crash. And now here's a look at your entertainment news for the day.
I'm Joe Smith-Englehart, and here's your entertainment news for the day. A coroner has confirmed singer George Michael died of natural causes from heart disease and a fatty liver. The singer died at his home in England on December 25th at age 53. The initial autopsy was inconclusive, leaving his family and fans wondering what caused his death. The coroner said no inquest will be made because there is a natural cause to the death. Michael's family has requested the media and public respect their privacy at this time. Model and lip sync battle host Chrissy Teigen revealed she has been struggling with postpartum depression for the last year. Teigen wrote an essay on her experience for Glamour magazine, explaining she had a difficult time returning to work after her and husband John Legend had a child. She says she is currently taking an antidepressant for her depression and anxiety, as well as attending therapy. In the article, Teigen wrote, quote, "I just don't think it could happen to me. I have a great life. I have all the help I can need. John, my mother, who lives with us, a nanny, but postpartum does not discriminate." Oscar-winning actor Casey Affleck will be lending his voice to a protest meant to bring attention to the mistreatment of bears. Animal rights group PETA are bringing a 7-foot-tall animatronic bear voiced by Affleck to the Agriculture Department in Washington on Tuesday. The protest aims to bring awareness to the exploitation of bears in zoos and the circus industry. PETA has been touring the bear they named Bernard around the U.S. at zoos and traveling circuses to show why their conditions are unbearable. After a push to have the movie banned, Russia will be rating Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast remake 16+. The film is the first Disney movie to feature an openly gay character. Actor Josh Gad plays the part of LeFou, who is attracted to the movie's main villain Gaston. Culture Minister Vladimir Medinsky has faced pressure from the public to assess whether the film violates a law prohibiting children from viewing material that goes against what they consider traditional family values. The movie also sparked outrage from a drive-in theater in Alabama, who said they would only show family-oriented films, so its customers were, quote, free to come watch wholesome movies without worrying about sex, nudity, homosexuality, and foul language. The film, which stars Emma Watson and Dan Stevens, is set for release on March 17th and is expected to do exceptionally well at the box office despite the ongoing controversy. After an unsuccessful meeting with Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner, Chance the Rapper is donating $1 million to public schools in Chicago. Chance met with Rauner to discuss public school funding after the governor vetoed a bill that would give $215 million in pension relief to schools. He said the governor gave him vague answers and wouldn't commit to the funding. The rapper's donation has garnered a lot of attention, prompting Michelle Obama to tweet her support saying, "You are an example of the power of arts education." Chance says the donation money will mostly come from ticket sales for his upcoming U.S. tour and thanked his fans for making it possible. In other music news, DJ Khaled has announced his next key to success is going to be a 4-day music festival cruise. The Summerfest cruise will feature Khaled as well as fellow musicians Migos, Future, A$AP Rocky, and Lil Wayne. The cruise takes off on June 30th, leaving the port of Miami, Florida, and will make stops in Nassau and the Great Stirrup Cay in the Bahamas before returning to the U.S. Tickets will run between $721 and $1,279 and are on sale now. And that's all for entertainment today. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Joe. In other Canadian news, federal Conservative leadership candidate Kelly Leitch wants to screen immigrants for Canadian values. In an email sent to subscribers of the right-wing website The Rebel Media, Leitch promises that if she becomes conservative leader and then Prime Minister, she would require immigrants to be screened for their Canadian values. The email that was obtained by iPolitics.ca includes examples of questions that immigrants would be asked, including, are men and women equal and entitled to equal protection under the law? And is it ever okay to coerce or use violence against an individual or group who disagrees with your views? Not only does Leitch want each immigrant to be screened for anti-Canadian values, but before entering the country, she wishes each person seeking a new life in Canada to undergo a face-to-face interview with an immigration officer. Conservative leadership candidate Deepak Oberoi issued a statement criticizing Leitch's Canadian values tactic, adding that it is a dangerous climate to create in Canada, and he is outraged by this. More political news closer to home, student elections are ongoing at Humber College. skedLIVE reporters Sam Layden and Danila Neves have the full story.
Today we're at Humber's North Campus to follow the student election campaign trail. Candidates from the president running, vice president running, and board of directors will be participating in a debate today, as well as taking some questions from students. So it'll give the students a chance to see what's going on with their election right now and be able to make an informed decision about where to go next when electing their new official. What are some hot topic issues right now during the debate and questions?
I wouldn't say during the debate, but usually during elections, there are three main problems that always come up. In order, I would say, is food. How can we make food better on campus, cheaper on campus, more accessible on campus? Is what we're paying for food fair? Do we deserve more? Second issue is space. Space for hanging out, space for studying, outlets in those spaces. How can we make the spaces that we're in more interesting for students and for faculty as well? And then thirdly is busing, like commuting, parking. If you're not here at 8:58 a.m., there's no more parking, right? How can we continue to make that a better experience for people without increasing the cost?
A couple of the hot button issues today were surrounded by safe spaces, mental illness, and of course, transparency. Voting will take place on the 13th until the 17th, and if you'd like to inform your decision anymore, you can visit Ignite's homepage to get a synopsis on every single candidate and all of the issues they plan to face in their elections. Sam Layden, skedline News.
Today, U.S. President Donald Trump backed a U.S. draft of House of Representatives Republican bill to replace and repeal Obamacare. On Monday, House Republicans unveiled a health care legislation that would eliminate the requirements for Americans to access medical insurance. In a series of tweets, Trump called the Republican draft our wonderful new health care bill and said that it was out for review and negotiation. The health care bill must pass the both the Republican-led House of Representatives as well as the Senate. Not only is the new health care bill current in the Trump administration, but the president announced Monday that they would have revised the controversial travel ban executive order, removing Iraq from the 7 countries. The new executive order places a 90-day ban for citizens from 6 Muslim-majority countries to enter these states, including Syria, Iran, Yemen, Somalia, and Sudan. Last night, a rally erupted outside the White House to protest their disapproval of the new ban. The protest featured many speakers, including Tom Perez, the new leader of the Democratic National Committee. Perez encouraged protesters to speak up on the ban, saying that it was unconstitutional as the first ban. Now here's your sports news for the day. Daniel Plant has this.
Hello, I'm Daniel Plant with your sports news. In the NHL, the Ottawa Senators won against the Boston Bruins 4-2. Mike Hoffman scored on a third-period power play, and Derek Brachat and Jean-Gabriel Pageau and Alex Burrows also added to the Sens' goals. Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand scored for the Bruins. Ottawa's Craig Anderson and the Bruins' Tuukka Rask each made 25 saves. Ottawa leads the Bruins by 4 points in the Atlantic Division. The Winnipeg Jets lost to the San Jose Sharks last night 3-2. The Sharks' Bodkor scored once and Pavelski scored twice. Joe Thornton racked up his 1,000th assists. Winnipeg's Morrisley and Scheifele scored for the Jets. Team Canada is competing in the World Baseball Classics for the 4th time. Comparatively, they have not done very well in each of their previous showings, with 9th place being the highest they ranked in the previous WBC competition. This year's team features mostly veterans. For example, Eric Gagnew, whose last MLB appearance was in 2008, and Ryan Dempster, whose last appearance was in 2013. Both are approximately 40 years old. The team also features some youngsters such as Tyler O'Neill and Demi Orimorlai. This afternoon, the Jays will face off against the WBC's Team Canada in Florida. Several members of the Jays are participating in the tournament not only on the field, but also as coaches. Jays Special Assistant Paul Quintrell and first base coach Tim Leifer will be working with Team Canada as coaches. Jays center fielder Dalton Pompley expressed his gratitude for the club's participation, saying in part, "It is a huge deal that they participate, not only in helping Team Canada, but helping the youth in Canada as well." Team Canada will have its first WBC game on March 9th against the Dominican Republic. You may say the NBA's Andrew Bogut will be taking a break for the rest of the season. Yes, in yesterday's Cavaliers versus the Heat match, Bogut broke his left tibia, and teammates James Jones and Tristan Thompson helped the 7-foot-tall giant off the court. Bogut collided with the Heat's Okafor White and went down in obvious pain. LeBron James told reporters it was apparent it was serious, saying, "I heard it break. I already knew. I heard it crack." This was his first game for the Cavs, and the Heat cast aside the Cavs in a 106-98 win. The NFL's Oakland Rangers are nearing the final sprint in a deal for a new Las Vegas stadium. According to an informed source and first reported by NFL insider Ian Rappaport, the Bank of America has agreed to finance the endeavor. Despite the promise of funding, the NFL still has to reach a conclusion as to whether or not such a plan is economically viable. The finding comes on the heels of 2 rejected proposals. Goldman Sachs and casino owner Sheldon Adelson pulled out of the potentially $19 billion stadium. The largest bulk of the tab will be picked up by the taxpayers. And there are 2 Championship League soccer matches today. First, Real Madrid will host Napoli to see who will advance to the quarterfinals. Both teams are tied for that prize. The 2 teams last faced off February 15th, with Madrid winning 3-1. Second, Munich takes on Arsenal in what will be a difficult comeback for Arsenal after losing 5-1 when the teams last met, also on the 15th. They are competing for a spot in the quarterfinals. Another thing not in the Arsenal's favor is that they haven't advanced to the level in 7 years. Both games kick off at 2:45. And that's all for your sports news. I'm Daniel Plant.
Thanks, Daniel. North Korea is prompting concerns over its plan to pursue a nuclear weapons program. The program follows the announcement of the U.S. and South Korea joint military exercise to prevent possible aggression from the North. North Korea diplomat Ju Young-choi told the United Nations that the exercises were a cause of escalation of tension that may turn into an actual war. More than 20 countries, including North Korea's main ally, China, condemned their Monday's test firing of ballistic missiles. Hundreds of former employees of Sterling Jewelers have come forward sharing their experience of discrimination within the company. The statement that was released on February 26 are part of a class action case that includes 69,000 employees that accuses the company of pay discrimination against women. In a statement released by Signet Jewelers Limited, the parent company of Sterling, they say that the accusations are not sustained by the facts. However, lawyers and academics who specialize in gender discrimination say otherwise, with more than 1,300 documents that provide insight into a company's policies work in real life. Now it's a little rainy outside today. Madeline Arias has more of the weather.
Hello, I'm Madeline, your weather host at Skedline today. We've got some light rain here in the city with a high of 11. The showers will clear up later tonight when the temperatures drop to 0. You can expect a sunny start to your Wednesday with a high of 2 and a low of -1. Thursday will be a mix of sun and clouds with a high of -7 and a low of -1. On Friday, we'll have a few flurries and a high of -4. At night, the temperature will dip to -12. Saturday will be mainly sunny and temperatures will stay below 0 with a high of -5 and a low of -10. That's your 5-day forecast and the weather for today. Thank you. I'm Madeline for skedline.com.
With International Women's Day tomorrow, make sure to check out skedline.com for all of the Toronto events happening. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rob Lowry. Until next time.